Hi you guys, I'm continuing to work on Cadence of the Rose journal. And again, I'm using this old book cover and these beautiful roses. And this is an old piece of paper from the 1900s, back in 1916. And then I found this beautiful book on Amazon. And this is the paintings of this Joseph Redoute, Pierre Joseph Redoute. And he was back in the 1700s painting all these. So I went through and marked my favorite ones, and then I copied one because I just couldn't take this cute little book apart. I thought it would be really fun though, because these pictures in here would be great. But I decided just to print them out. So I did that, and I trimmed around this one, just kind of fussy cut it, and I love it. I think that's going to be gorgeous. And so I think I'll take this really old piece of paper and be careful with it. When I did this corner, I just bent it a little bit and it just cracks right off. So it's a bit fragile, and I'm just, I'm just hoping that Mod Podge is okay with it. So I really like this book cover, but it's not quite the color scheme and the look I'm going for just right in here. But I like the little leather corners, and especially this one that's kind of scruffy. So I'm just covering up the parts that I want to and leaving the rest. And I've painted over this, and I've got some other elements ready for that, and I'll be covering the back as well, parts of the back. Okay, so here we go with some Mod Podge on this. I'm going to start with this little piece right here. So I'm liking this little spread of roses at the bottom, and that doesn't cover up the date here that I think is kind of fun to leave. And it just adds that beauty that I love. I think I want to do is put whatever's going to be on the inside, because I might wrap those around, those extra pieces, or I might just cut them off. It just depends on how it's going. So now I need to decide, what am I going to do on the back and the inside cover? So I've cut these out, and I plan to put these on the inside of the covers. And these are just the copies of these really old papers that I had on hand. And I just didn't want to put them down because then I can't use the other side. So I just made copies. What I'm going to do is use Mod Podge. I'm just going to wrap this center little piece that I'm going to attach all my signatures to. And I'm just going to give like a little mitered edge here. And this is not going to be seen very much, so you don't have to really sweat it. But I just had an extra piece of paper that I had spritzed with the beautiful, it's kind of a pearlescent sparkle spray that I found. It's on sale at Michael's. And I just thought it was super pretty, so I got it. And I love it. We're going to poke holes through this and attach signatures, so it's a good idea to use a glue that doesn't dry thick. This is going to go back in here. Now, I saw this on Nick the Booksmith and the Paper Outpost, where they made this little piece. And see how this is just not very, it's kind of flat. So that allows my book to still close, but it gives me something to attach my signatures to, because I don't want to poke holes out here to run the signatures through. Okay, so I have a big measuring mat, and it's a self-healing mat that I can cut on as well. And I've just measured this all out because it's got all the lines and dots that help me with that. What I'm going to do is holes for each signature. And I've got my signatures kind of bound here. And you can see how that kind of lines up. These two are closer together. This is the top. That was something I learned on Paper Outpost. And that is with PM. Okay, so I think that's going to look pretty good. I've got all three of my signatures all folded and ready. And I made them not too big because I want to put lots of stuff in there. I'm going to punch this out. I've got this We Are Memory Makers hole punch, and it also will set the eyelets. So there's a 3/16 and a 1/8. I'm going to use the 1/8. And I am just simply going to punch these out. I'm going to use this really thin twine. I just think it'll blend in nicely. Oh, that's marking. I'm going to start with this one. Okay. And then I want to hold these together so that I can string them through. And if you have a hole punch that you want to use, have at it. Okay, so I've got two signatures on. This is my last one. Good there. And so what I've got, as you can see, are some staggered heights and widths. And I did that on purpose because I like the look of it, but I needed some more just to fill the book up. Because my book cover was kind of big and I wanted it, so. Okay, so I'm just running my needle through here. I've got my string on there. You can use whatever you want as far as your string. Some people use embroidery floss. Then I'm going to go back into the middle. And then I'm just going to make sure I've got one of the ties on each side. So then this is in the middle. And tie it up. You can do a knot and a bow, which is what I'm going to do for now, because I might throw some beads on there later, and I don't know, I certainly don't need it that long. I don't know quite how long I'm going to need it or want it to be. So that is just for a later decision. So here we go. We have all our signatures on, and now I'm going to glue this in. And I left a lot of room because I like to put a lot of thick decorations, and I've got those really pretty lace appliques and stuff that I want to work with. And normally, if you've watched any of my videos, I will add the cover kind of at the end. I figure out how big to make it because I haven't used an old book cover before. And so this kind of spells out the thickness for me. And I don't get to, at the very end, decide I need a bigger one and remake it, or just wait till the end and make it. So I had to be careful this time, not to get too many pages and have it too thick to begin with, because for me that just kind of kills my fun. I like to have a lot of decorations. Then what I'm going to do is glue this into my book cover like so. Okay, so I think for this back part, I just want this beautiful music sheet. This is a really pretty hymn. So these are really old music sheets, and I made a copy of this one. Hark, my soul, it is the Lord, 'tis thy Savior, hear his word. Jesus speaks, he speaks to thee. Say, poor sinner, lovest thou me? I delivered thee when bound, and when bleeding healed thy wound. Sought thee wandering, see thee right, turn thy darkness into light. And this one says, Lord, whom winds and seas obey, guide us through this watery way. In the hollow of thy hand, hide and bring us safe to land. Jesus, let our faithful mind rest in thee alone reclined. Every anxious thought repress, keep our souls in perfect peace. Oh, so sweet. Love it. Okay, so I'm ready to decoupage this on. I'm going to use a little Mod Podge. So I think I like the roses like this, and I can still see the date, the 1916. So I think that's really going to be gorgeous. So beautiful. I'm going to put some on the back too. I still need to fussy cut them though. Now what I need to do is put in the pages. And so I want to glue this down and then let it set overnight. All right, so here we go. Hope you guys can see this. Okay, I put this little piece of cloth here so that this doesn't dig in and make a line. And I'm just going to leave this propped up overnight.